Traditionally, in the fashion industry, a lot of designers don't really have business background, and in fact, they don't really have much of a sense of the traditional like business school sort of mindset. And also, I think they don't. Most of them don't really value the organic. I mean, at least like people I work with, they don't really.
Sure. Yeah, the value to organic is still way out there. A lot of people don't get it still, but it's really coming around. In terms of feeling accepted or not, I feel like, thankfully, with my business background, I've actually outlasted a lot of other eco companies that didn't, perhaps, I don't really know all their history, but perhaps didn't have a business background. So that's been great, because actually with fashion, the longer you're around, the more people you begin to know, and they keep saying your name again and again and again, and like I said, perseverance. I've never really taken no as a true answer, so people often hear from me, and for example, we've been in touch with Vogue for 4 years, and our bikini's finally in Vogue this month, so, you know what I mean? Like, it just takes a lot of work and patience, and, you know, it's gonna all come together if you can survive the cycles of business.
Yeah, I think patience for everyone probably pays off, especially, you know, when everyone isn't on the same wavelength, that eventually they will come around. We only have time, unfortunately, for one more question, but they will all be at tables after this panel discussion is over, so you can follow up with everyone here one-on-one. So I guess whoever wants to ask the last question of the night. Oh, John Patrick, we would love to hear your question.
Farm Sanctuary. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I love your organization. Can you tell us a little bit about that proposition in California?
He's asking about the proposition in California, for those of you who can't hear.
Thank you, John. I would love to talk about Proposition 2, which is a ballot measure that was recently passed in November in the state of California. And it's a historical ballot measure because it's first of its kind in this country. It basically is banning the cruelest forms of confinement for farm animals, which means gestation crates for pigs, which is crates they're in when they're pregnant, and battery cages for hens, which is where they keep egg-laying hens, and veal crates for baby cows. And so these forms of confinement are now banned, which will affect more than 20 million farm animals in the state of California, which is an amazing thing for not only the lives of these animals, but for our food supply and for the health of the planet. So it's an amazing accomplishment, and we're excited and hopefully that other states in the country will follow suit. Thanks for asking, John.
And I know we have to wrap things up, but Betty, I know that your organization just made the gag rule. You guys have been doing a lot of protesting and activation about that, so if you wanted to say a few words.
Yes, under the previous administration there had been a policy that organizations such as ours could not partner or work with other organizations internationally if they provided any information about abortion services or provided abortion services, even if they carried out those activities using their own funds or funds they raised from other sources than U.S. government funds. And so it really put a lot of limits to the partnerships that we had in the field. So most recently with the new administration, the gag rule was lifted, and so now we're at a point where we can revisit how to operationalize those relationships and provide technical assistance to support the reproductive health activities worldwide. So an early first win, and we're working on it to make sure that at least now that the information is out, that our partner organizations understand what that means, how we can work with them, because now for 8 years they've been told they can't work with us, and they have to sign all of these disclosures, and they have to sign all of these forms, and they have to report to us if they're doing something that is not part of this very repressive rule. So we have to now work with our partners to unlearn.
Yeah, so as you can see, even though a lot of our panelists come from very different backgrounds and work in different places, sometimes it seems like a lot of the challenges can be very similar. Both Parsons Career Services and the New School Career Services wanted to thank everyone for coming out, and thank you all for attending. And so this is going to conclude our panel portion. So if we can give all these esteemed panelists. So we can allow you guys to go back to your tables, but I have to stand here and tell you who will win these wonderful raffle gifts that we have here. I actually don't know the full list of prizes, so it's going to